Esteemed guests, students, and parents, I welcome you to yet another captivating episode of HT Dialogues, where we pick up issues which interest school students and parents. In today's discussion, leveraging AI to build a green, future ready workforce, we will talk about how artificial intelligence, one of the key drivers in today's times, can promote economic and environmental stability, sustainability, and transform industries to create eco-friendly job opportunities. Our session today will explore innovative solutions for a greener future so that our next generation is equipped with quality education using AI in a big way so that they have the know-how and the tools to tackle climate change and other environmental issues. Hi, my name is Pritika and I come with 23 years of experience in media companies, the Hindustan Times as well, and I have a keen interest in environment and sustainability issues. So, our panelists for today are Mr. Manav Subodh. He is a leading voice in AI and green skills. He founded the UN accredited 1M1B, which is 1 million for 1 billion. A former UC Berkeley senior fellow and corporate executive, Manav established 1M1B Green Skills Academy leveraging AI, announced at the UN headquarters in New York in December 2023. Manav, I welcome you. And going to our second panelist, Ms. Rama Devi Lanka. She is the Director, Emerging Technologies, Telangana, and she leads the Emerging Technologies wing of the Information Technologies, Electronics and Communication Department of the Government of Telangana, India, and she's also played a pivotal role in establishing centers of excellence in AI, cybersecurity, e-waste, and additive manufacturing. We welcome you, ma'am. And I have now on the panel Dr. Alpana Baveja, who is the Principal Director, GD Goenka Signature School, Gurugram, a passionate educator with 22 years of rich, diversified leadership experience across prestigious schools in the country. She is the recipient of several awards and has also been recognized as one of the best principals in 2021 by the India Achievers Club, a published author, and an excellent hands on trainer and speaker. She has extensively conducted many seminars, workshops, and teacher training capsules in India and abroad. A very warm welcome to all of you. And now I start with Manav. The first question is for you. So, Manav, 1M1B focuses on AI driven skill development. How do you see AI transforming the current workforce to become more sustainable and environmentally conscious?
So thank you for the question. AI is everywhere. We hear AI is changing the world. We see AI getting integrated with industries. But what we don't hear is how AI could be put to good use. Now, I'll come back to that topic on linking that to job creation and employability. But many people ask me that why should we care about climate? It's of course it's important. Many people think environmental impact that we are creating is not up to us. We are not responsible. It is the big industries responsible. It's the big companies responsible, and something the government needs to do. Well, I personally believe that all of us can work together to make a collaborative to make that possible without compromising on the economic agendas and the environmental agendas. Now, normally these two agendas are seen separately. Either you work on economic agenda, which is seen as okay, go and volunteer, clean up a lake, plant some trees, do some social work, and economic development is jobs because we have to grow as a developing nation. We have to go forward and do whatever it takes because we have growing middle class, we have growing youth population, many people are unemployed in our country still, and we need to take care of it first. But I think we are sitting on a great opportunity. AI is there. India has two superpowers today: artificial intelligence, because we have a huge technology workforce, the industry. India has a demographic dividend. The second superpower is young people. Now, many of these young people are going to transition to the workforce. Many people say that there will be no jobs. And on the other side, what we hear is that green economy is going to produce 24 million new jobs by the year 2030. 30 million jobs are already there in the renewable sector. The need for green skilling has increased 40%, and the demand is just 30%. These are data that I read in the World Economic Forum. So, are we sitting on a big opportunity? Of course, yes. And if we use AI as a superpower to get into green skilling, we have a very, very, very big and a powerful combination coming out. And I believe that we today, as educators, as change makers, as policy makers, can do a lot of things to educate the future workforce with skills, not just AI, but how AI and data analytics could be used to reduce the environmental impact. There is the data says that there are about 1.2 billion people in the workforce today, and many of them are going to get affected by the change that is going to happen in the environmental policies. And we have all taken the net zero agenda. India has taken a net to go net zero. Many countries have taken it. So we are actually staring at people losing jobs. We are actually facing a crisis where a lot of mid-level executives will be without jobs. And here we are talking about a massive youth that we have. What can we do? So in that 1 million for 1 billion, my organization partnered with the Telangana government. And we have established the first 1M1B Green Skills Academy in Telangana, so that we can prepare the engineering colleges and the ITIs and the young people who are going to be joining the workforce to transition and take advantage of these careers that are emerging now.
Thank you, Manav. I think these were the biggest concerns that are always there, that what will happen to people losing jobs and all. But the way you explain us that we can integrate the superpowers of AI and the young workforce that we have, and we can leverage on these things. It's also very encouraging to hear about your partnership with the task. So now my question is for Rama. Rama, you work closely with educational institutions and industries. What role do you see AI playing in bridging the skill gap for a green economy, so to speak?
Yeah, thank you for that question. As you rightly mentioned, I work in emerging technologies, and use AI in a number of initiatives within the government. We actually solve real world problems using AI, like, saving lives, reduce accidents using AI devices, sustainable promoting sustainable agriculture using AI, and so on. So the kind of challenges that we are facing in getting skilled, workforce for AI can be sort of extrapolated to even green skills. So how can AI, help us in that? How can AI bridge that gap? Is the right question that you actually, asked today. So what do we need to get, to build the skills within our country, green skills, so we need to have the best curriculum, that's number one. Second, you know we can always have great partnerships, I mean industry partnerships and so on. Third, we have the talent that's kind of a want to learn, absorb. But despite all these positive things that we can have best curriculum, having a great talent to learn, great partnerships and all, but still, we're not able to like scale up, educate large number of students. So what are the challenges that we are facing? To me, one thing is we tried it out this in AI. We wanted to actually have AI workforce or AI ready students for employment. So we tried online tutorials, but somehow we were not able to attract students in large numbers. So maybe online tutorials is not kind of the way they're not I mean comparable with a teacher actually training a student. So while students are registering, but there are many dropouts happening. Like, for example, I'll just give you 5,000 students register, but at the end of the program only 500 are actually taking the classes. So when I actually look at that problem, I realize that actually students need that interaction, a human interaction. But all of us again understand the challenge that we have. We are very limited, teachers available within the country, even for our regular, conventional education. So forget about green scale. So that is a huge gap that we're looking at, shortage of teachers, trained teachers. So how do we bridge this gap? Answer is only AI. AI can actually train the students. Number one, it can train the students in large numbers, or it can even train the trainers, or TOT is what we call, who in turn can train the students. So AI will be able to bridge that gap. And another advantage with AI is nowadays in the conventional training, like if we make all 30, 50 students sit in one class and offer one standard program for all the students, irrespective of their capabilities, abilities, their IQ, and so on. But with AI, you have the advantage of designing a personalized program. So that will further enhance the training program. So I think AI is going to actually change the education sector in an unimaginable way, and more so for green skills. Because green skills again require, we have a huge shortage of skills in the green green technologies, I would say, because every sector is now going to move to green technologies. So how do we build that workforce or talent? The answer is AI. Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Rama. It was really insightful that AI can help us in a number of ways, whether it is training the teachers and whether imparting training to fewer students. All these things can easily happen, and things can be customized as well depending upon the capabilities. Because till now, all the students were kept together; they were kept at one level, but their capabilities do vary. And the key is to teach them according to their capability so that we can harness their full potential. And AI there is, the major superpower that's going to come of a lot of use for us. So now coming to the next question, Dr. Baveja, as a principal and director, you are shaping the minds of future generations. And my question is, how can the schools integrate AI into curriculum to prepare the students for a green, future-ready workforce? Yeah. So, Dr.
Thank,
Baveja,
thank, yeah, thank you so much, Pritika. So when
yeah.
we talk about AI and when we talk about green curriculum, and I was listening to Miss Rama and I could correlate that there is a huge gap when children go from schools to universities. There is a huge gap, and none of us sitting here can deny that school is one place where we have to inculcate the love for learning and knowledge amongst our students. So I would like to share a quote here, William Wordsworth, which says that child is the father of a man. I repeat, child is the father of a man. So when we say this surely means that any habit or character is built when children are young. Believe in me, we all are talking about sustainability, we all are talking about AI. It doesn't come to our generation naturally. When I say this, we also, I would like to share that we have initiated, we have tied up with industry partners, and we have a platform in the school wherein, anything and everything my children are doing related to sustainability, they are uploading the pictures on this platform, and through AI, they are getting credits as well. So, for example, believe in me, I took a lot of time adjusting to this and using a Tumblr. I'm being very honest. And my children in my school, they've started using a Tumblr instead of tap water. And believe me, they are uploading these pictures on that platform and they get credits because AI is judging them and giving them credits. So, one, schools have to encourage children right from the younger age. So, it is imbibed in them. Like we instill the love for learning, we have to imbibe and integrate sustainability in our curriculum. It cannot go in silos. So while we are teaching social sciences, we have a robotic lab, a STEM lab, wherein we collaborate with our children. We give them a lot of, thought-provoking sessions where we give them challenges. So I would like to share one or two projects which my children have done. For example, we have initiated a butterfly garden in the school. So when I say a butterfly garden, you all will agree these days butterflies are going extinct. We hardly see butterflies around. So this is part of sustainability where we planted different plants in the garden to attract butterflies. But how did we connect it with AI? So we placed sensor cameras in the field where, these butterflies, because every time they're not there. So when they visit these plants, these cameras they capture. And my senior children, they then research and see which are the plants which are attracting these butterflies. butterflies, right? And in due course of time, we are waiting even to see the life cycle of a butterfly through those cameras. Similarly, most of the progressive schools today, they have an organic, garden in their schools if they are having space. And we also have one. So for that, we have sprinklers in the school, in the, organic garden. However, what my children devised was, which was like, I am feeling so proud sharing it, because what they devised was time. What they did was, there were certain plants which required water on a daily basis. However, certain plants required water only twice a week or thrice a week. So they timed it. So this is how they connected AI with sustainability, right? So the idea is that when we are actually imbibing it, integrating it in the curriculum. We don't have to actually talk what is AI, what is sustainability, because none of us can deny that AI is the need of the hour. But same is achieving these sustainable goals. So as schools, I would suggest we have started, and I'm sure a lot of schools have started already, but we have to make sure that we continue this. We don't take it as a burden, because there is already a lot of pressure of syllabus. So we have to imbibe it, integrate it in the school curriculum, and make sure we are creating and preparing this generation as a AI green curriculum generation.
So that was really wonderful, and the way you spoke about the fact that we need to imbibe it, because our generation, even though AI is there now, but still it doesn't come from within. And when they're young, catch them young is the phrase. And the other things that you talked about, they are very interesting. The butterfly project of how you set up cameras and you can see which kind of plants are attracting the butterflies. That is really nice. And then you exactly come to know also about the sprinklers and the plants that need water on a daily basis. And that is being tracked through AI. That is something really important. And the very fact that you shared, that this should be naturally integrated into the curriculum, and it should not be something that is an extra burden to be imposed on them, so that applying AI is a part of their daily life, and that's how they can slowly imbibe it in the very depths of their being. So that was really nice. And it's so nice to hear that schools are doing such projects of sustainability, different ways, very simple ways, but the way it gets, integrated into the curriculum, and how happy you are when you see about, look at the ideas that they are coming up with of where AI can be used. So that's really good. Now, my next question is for you, Manav. Manav, can you share some specific examples of case studies where AI-driven initiatives have successfully contributed to environmental stability and workforce development? Yeah, Manav.
Um, yeah, sure. I can, sometimes when I listen to the environmental issues that we all are facing, and I sometimes wonder if we can go to the moon, we can be the biggest problem-solving nation. How can we not solve the problem of the Delhi pollution? And that always comes to my mind. That is, we see, what happens during Diwali, during winters, and what can be done. And I was reading about what AI can do, and got in touch. I was reading about this German startup called Breeze Technology that measures air quality pollution and tells what is the reason for that. Now, if some of you who are from Delhi, you know that we keep on predicting and assuming what is happening. Some people think it's the farmers, some people think it's the crackers, some people think it's the construction workers, some people think the industry should be shut down. We don't know. And if we have AI that can tell where the air pollution is coming from, imagine what that can help in making a you know data-driven decision. So these are the technologies. This is what AI can do, and we need, as a problem solving nation, as a technology nation which is supplying global workforce today. Some of our engineers and some top talent and leaders in global companies are Indians. How can we not solve this problem? And we have a generation which is generation alpha, which is coming, generation Gen Z that is coming, that is more aware, that is more sensitive within the environment. They want to do something but don't know how. So here there is a big opportunity for creating indigenous solutions using AI. AI, in fact, I was with Rama ma'am and other leaders in Telangana. We are trying to see, can AI create indigenous solutions in Hyderabad to help monitor traffic? Can that be taken even to tier 2 towns, tier 3 towns, villages of India? Can AI be used for optimizing this? So there are a bunch of things, but some of the top initiatives that come to my mind is an initiative by MIT called Treepedia. Now, Treepedia is measuring the green spaces in cities and suggesting to city planners what to do. There's a initiative, another one called the Global Coral Watch, which is measuring using satellite imagery, what is happening to the coral reef, and measuring marine life. There's similar initiative for fisheries, capturing illegal, stopping illegal fishing, because all these things matter. So here is satellite imagery, here's data, here is a technology that is getting used to really monitor what can be done. So there are various technologies that exist today, various technologies that we have today. These are only building blocks. What I want to suggest here is, can these building blocks, AI, even generative AI, and all these open large language models that are available, can that be used to power our innovators right in schools to create indigenous solution? There are multiple use cases coming up, but we as a country, we need to create, because we have so many cultures, so many different religions, so many languages. We need to create indigenous environmental solution. No one size will fit all. We need to really create micro solution and empower our young change makers to take these technology and say, how can I change the world? What can I contribute? What can I really do to make this happen? So I think that's what is the message that I want to give, that AI could be used a lot from problem solving and creating local solutions. And there are enough use cases that are already there to encourage us to go in this direction.
Thank you, Manav. When we come to know about different places like MIT and so many other places using AI in different ways, and we have Gen Z and now Gen Alpha coming up, and if they have indigenous solutions and solution, because one size doesn't fit everyone, so AI can come up with such unique solutions, is something that we all must look at. And this is what I think is the key to using AI in improving our sustainability issues environment, because everything that we have these days, some or the other way, AI can be applied, and that too not only at the macro level but the micro level as well. So this is something which needs to be really looked into. And now I have this question for Rama. I want to know what partnerships or collaborations do you believe are essential between government, educational institutions, and the private sector to leverage AI for a green workforce?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just start with the current problem that we are facing, right? We have huge number of engineering students coming out of colleges, but unfortunately, uh, they are not employable. So the industry is actually, taking them, training for some time, spending, both time and effort and resources on that, and then actually offering them the jobs. So this we can use it as a learning for to build the green skills talent in the country, because I would say building the green skills talent is like a green field for us, where you don't have that legacy baggage with us. It's fresh for us, and just based on the learnings you can build. So as I said, so the most important partnership that we are looking at is to actually, once the students complete the theoretical part, whatever subjects curriculum that they have, the second phase should be on internships, providing internships, practical experiences. That's what actually makes them employable. That's what helps the industry. That's what helps India, to build a talent workforce. In fact, a year and a half back, I think it was McKinsey global partner, his name is Bob Steffner, I think. Bob, yeah. What he said was like 15% of the global talent will be provided by India. But how do we do that, unless we actually have these kind of initiative? If just children or students come out of, these colleges and schools without having practical experience, they'll not be able to meet the industry demand. That's one of the greatest, important things that we need to do. Hands-on experience, has to be incorporated in the overall training program. That's number one. Second most important thing is in these engineering colleges, as I said, it's mostly, I'm not saying that every college does that, every university, but more or less in large numbers, they offer theoretical lessons, So, an idea that we are experimenting in the Telangana engineering colleges is, can we actually include, they're called professors of practice, people who have rich experience in the industry, who have hands-on experience, they should be part of the school or colleges, academic institutions. So while the university will offer the what you call the curriculum related syllabus and all, these professors of practice will actually bring in that actual hands-on experience and train the students for the future workforce. So I think this model would work to build a good talent, green skills talent in the country.
Thank you. So, professors of practice is something which is very important because we all know that we have engineers and all, they come out from colleges, but they are, mainly backed by the theoretical knowledge they have. And it's actually the practical knowledge which is required when they come to working. And these things are going to this model of yours when you talk of professors of practice, which you have been implementing in Telangana. I think it's really good. And slowly and slowly, it should be imbibed by the other institutions as well. So this now brings me to the next question, which is for Manav. Manav, what kind of PP models do you suggest in India and even globally to accelerate net zero goals?
Um,
So PPP models. Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, I believe public-private partnerships are the way to go. We all are taking individual efforts in our own way, but when you come together uh, and collaborate, a lot of things can happen, right? We can do so many things. So Rama ma'am is there, and in fact, I'll take that advantage to say that the way the government of Telangana, the state government of Telangana in India, is taking steps and solving or taking it, solving this problem is a big one. 1M1B Green Skills Academy we just announced in the state of Telangana, where we have already done an experiment where about 1 lakh students are being trained on green skills, and a number of them will be given internships. As Rama ma'am was saying, internship is the way to go. So we're exactly piloting this model that Rama ma'am is talking about, and we are then connecting them to all the industries and even the startups in the state of Telangana. So I think so. You see the startups coming, you see the industry coming, you see 1M1B as an organization coming, you see the government coming together. I think this is the way to go. You see the educators coming together. So I think this is the way to go. Public-private partnership models like what I just said in Telangana with 1M1B Green Skill Academy, I think is the future. We cannot do this alone. I mean, we always, I have an approach that, how many curriculums you can integrate, how many, it's sustainability is everybody's job. Many people say, why should I do sustainability? I don't have a degree. You don't need a degree. You don't need to take action on climate. It's everybody's business. We are all affected by it, and we need to take action whether we have degrees or specialization on it or not. I think it's more skilling. It is not degrees. And I think that's the way we need to go. We need to set up Green Skills Academy. We need to make this part of the skilling curriculum. We don't need to start a separate subject. We don't need to start, of course, those are initiatives that are good in the long run, but I don't think we have time. Look at the climate changes that are happening, the floods, the forest fires, the unpredictable weather. We all saw the heat wave this time in the northern part of India. Climate change is for real. Do we have time to really, take the next 30 years to solve it? No, we need to do something right now. And I think our workforce is a big superpower. Technology is a big superpower. We need combine that with a public-private partnership model like what I just spoke about. I think that needs to be multiplied by, say, 1 million for us to take some decisive action on this, and also prepare the future generation and give them a world that they truly deserve.
So I really like that, Manav, giving them a world that they truly deserve. And public-private partnerships are very important. And also, as you said, we don't have time. Though in the long run, they can have these degrees and all, but they need to be skilled because each one of us, in whatever capacity, whatever knowledge we have, we need to apply wherever we are right now, so that in some way or the other we contribute. And therefore, this is very important, and public private partnerships and these collaborations will go a long way in making this happen. So now I come to Dr. Baveja. I would want to know from you that how can schools and educators inspire students to pursue careers in AI and sustainability? And are there any specific programs or initiatives that the schools have taken which you would like to highlight?
Thank you, Pritika, for that question. But before I answer that, I would like to compliment Manav what he said. More skilling and no certifications, definitely. And here, being a English teacher, I recall a phrase which was in one of the grade 11th or 12th books I remember, which was that the earth is not, we have not inherited the earth from our ancestors, but we've borrowed it from our children. So, bang on, I want to say that it is each one's responsibility that we have to have a sustainable environment, because I think it's we and our children and the next generation who are the sufferers. So, coming back to your question, Pritika, see, how do children choose their careers? I think it's the school who first gives exposure to the children, whether it is academic subjects, whether it's visual arts, performing arts. Children are taking subjects in various fields today, and there are a lot of options, unlike in our times, right? Now, when Miss Rama and Mr. Manav also quoted that it cannot be taught in silos, whether it's AI or sustainability. Today, it has to be integrated in a curriculum because we cannot teach it in silos. So, when we talk about this, once we do activities in the school, as I shared earlier, also we have projects, we have collaborations where we give children food for thought, where it is in the curriculum, it is in the pedagogy. You make them, you give them a thought and they think over it, they give solutions. So we in our school like give a lot of challenges to our children. Even during debate sessions we take all these topics. So like the other day, I remember I was visiting a class, and the teacher gave the children challenge that as a school we want to optimize the use of electricity. So what is that you can suggest, you can come up with, and we would be presenting it to the management, right? So children are also very enthused when they heard that okay, they will be presenting it to the management. And you won't believe they came up with sensor lights. So they said that we are a 20-acre school at GD Goenka Signature School, and we can have sensor lights in all common areas. And believe in me, they have already presented to the management, and we are thinking to have it in the washrooms, in the hostel, in the Audi, all common areas. So again, as I said, that schools are really responsible to imbibe the love for learning. So learning can be in any subject, any field. Now when you say okay, how we can inspire them to take up these as future jobs, so Manav already said that by 2030, I don't remember the number, but there would be so many jobs in this field. So when as schools today we have professionals coming up addressing in the schools, so we should make sure at schools that they talk about jobs which are related to AI and sustainability, because that is the need of the hour. And as schools, as educators, we have to prepare children for 10 years, 15 years, down the line. We don't have to prepare for present times. Secondly, we should organize all these competitions, innovations. When someone said that AI can be used, for innovators. So these children are innovators. They are the next generation, right? And for them, if we provide them with these challenges, they come up with beautiful ideas. So we should have a lot of competitions, a lot of counselors coming in. Then internships. I also wanted to refer here what Ms. Rama said. So like we as a school, we are doing a lot of industry, partnerships. We are providing a lot of internships because till children taste. I'll give you example of one of my students around 8-10 years down the line. She took sciences, medical, because she said she wants to be a doctor. Now, this child never realized that she could not see blood. So, when she took sciences in 11, 12, she actually realized that, this is not her cup of tea. And then coming back to internship, that these small little things, they give exposure to children. And this is how, every child, I mean, most of the children, 90% of the children choose their professions by what they like today, especially today's generation. So, a lot of exposure to our children, lot of competitions, lot of industry tie-ups, internships. This is what as schools we should do and give lot of exposure to our children. And I think sky is the limit for them.
Thank you so much, Dr. Baveja. As you rightly said, you gave the example of one of these girls who thought she wanted to become a doctor, but then she couldn't see blood. Similarly, it's very important for us that the internships happen, as you said, counseling happens. So, children should have a broader perspective and they must know what AI is all about. And I guess the kind of projects and the challenges that are happening in your school, they will create further interest because a very practical thing is, saving electricity is something that is, a part of our lives as well. Every day we think of how we must, conserve electricity and how they came up with sensor lights and everything. This is also very important because when they work on such issues and such challenges happen, then they also realize what interests them. Because many a times, especially in our times now, it has changed. We never used to know what are the different career options and what all it has to offer. And this only happens actually when they, work with the companies, they do internships, which is becoming even more and more important at the school level. Because earlier we used to hear of college students and maybe people after graduation do a job or experience to understand what it is. But at the school level, and as Rama also said and Manav said, that practical experience is very important. Just the theoretical thing doesn't work. And I think schools have a major role to play because, having these challenges thrown open to them, giving them different opportunities where they can actually utilize these skills and then following it up with counseling and, making sure that they come to know about what are the options available and also empowering them, making them feel that if they are armed with this technology, with the AI, what all they can do, where all they can make a difference. Like Manav talked about pollution, which is one problem that we face day in and day out. And if they're empowered with this, how they will be able to utilize AI and how they can make a difference at every stage. And as you said, sky is the limit. So with this, I come to the other question, which is for Manav. Manav, I want to know how can AI be used to monitor and reduce the environmental impact of various industries, and what skills do workers need to effectively use these AI tools, so to speak? Yes, Manav.
I think from a skilling perspective, the big skill is data. AI cannot work without data. So at the core of it is data. So I would say data is a big skill set that is required. And let me give you some example. Of course, technology is important and what AI can do. So the Denmark government started an initiative which is using AI and data analytics to optimize the existing energy grid performance, to enhance the grid, and to switch to renewables. And they have taken an ambitious goal to reduce the greenhouse gas by 70% in the next 6 years by 2030. So imagine what can happen. 70% reduction in energy can happen, and the greenhouse gas that it contributes as a result of energy and inefficient use of the grid today. Now, a similar example is I was in my organization 1M1B is affiliated to the United Nations, so we keep on participating in various United Nations activities, and we also hold an annual convention where we showcase change makers from India at the United Nations at their headquarters, and we will be taking 10 of these change makers from the from Telangana to the United Nations, saying this is what India can contribute. But one of the big things that at least I have been seeing is, when I was at the UN and I was at this virtual world conference that happened in Geneva, is the concept of digital twin. So you can have a digital twin of the energy grid. Imagine you have a physical energy grid and you have a twin of the energy grid, and you can run all experiments on it. You can see how you can repair it faster, how can you make it more efficient, how will it behave in stress conditions, and based on the digital twin you can perform those practices on the real grid. Now imagine what the virtual world can bring with this concept of digital twinning. Now, digital twinning is huge. Now, if that comes and if we empower our young people to take advantage of the virtual world, AI, data, all of that powers the virtual world. And if we can do something to create, like as I always say, local solutions on how we can optimize our current resources, um, there could be huge acceleration in our net zero goals, and that can happen. Another example that I comes to my mind is Deep Minds. I think it's a Google subsidiary, and Deep Minds is using wind farms and using data and AI to monitor wind farms, and they are using prediction based on data to tell how the winds are blowing and how the winds direction of the winds will change so that you can optimize, and they have already reported out increase in the efficiency of the wind farms by 20% using data and AI. So data and AI are going to play a big role in how we we manage our existing resources, how we monitor our existing resources. And I think that's the big opportunity. What we need besides the hard skills like AI, data, and there are a lot of these software, environmental social governance, ESG softwares, which could be deployed at the local, small and medium businesses level to monitor the energy efficiency, control the grid, control electricity, water management, waste management. AI could be used in a lot of places. But besides that, I think the bigger skills that we need to teach our children and the future workforce is problem solving and collaboration. I mean, those are my top skills. If I would say from the soft skills perspective, we need to work together. We need to work in team, collaboration and problem solving, looking at going in an ambiguous environment, working with limited insights and coming up with a solution. So we need innovation and entrepreneurial skills for sure. Problem solving comes to me as a big one that we should also look at besides AI and data.
So thank you so much, Manav. You talked about problem solving, which is very important, and collaboration, which is the need of the hour. Apart from that, this concept of a digital twin, how they could do different experiments and understand, what all they can do with the grid. This is also something which is, which is very important. It just goes to show that so much we can do with AI. And then there is this organization which you talked about. I think it's called Deeper Minds. They looked at wind farming and how they could track all that, and this is something which I never knew, I never heard of. And when students come to know about all these things, that this is the level that they can go to, and of course the collaboration that happens, which is very very important, and the problem solving, which are the soft skills, with whatever resources they have, I think a lot can be done in this regard. So now my question is for Rama. What challenges do you foresee in implementing these AI-driven green initiatives in the workforce, and how can we overcome them? Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Actually, before I could answer your question, I just want to explain a little bit about how India is moving from services to products. All along, for more than a decade or more, we have been providing IT services to different countries, but now as a country, we want to move towards a product nation where not just services, but we want our companies, our talent, to develop what you call products. So, in order to do that, as Manav also mentioned earlier, we need to encourage students to become entrepreneurs, startups. That's what Manav said. That's one area that we need to look into it. Secondly, again, for the last couple of decades, I would say, as a country, we haven't focused on research. But now in AI, that's another important area where we need to encourage students to take up research. Because if you look at any country that's actually measured in terms of, how good or how matured a country is in terms of AI, one of the parameters is number of publications, number of citations, number of research papers, and all this comes into. But in India, that has been lacking for quite some time. So research and entrepreneurships are the two areas that needs to be promoted within the student community and the workforce community. Yeah, coming to your specific question on challenges in workforce, again, these are similar to what we actually face in terms of pure AI initiatives. So the way we address that is, first of all, we need to identify what's the right problem statement or the use case where it could be green AI or simply AI also, where these can be applied for. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense if you just apply AI for everything. It doesn't actually help. So you need to identify the right problem statement of the use case where these climatic solutions, that's what we call, green tech solutions, can be actually worked on upon. So one I mean tool that we use is to actually organize hackathons. This we do for students, this we do for startups, and this we do for even industry also. With from the government, we actually identify certain use cases, like one use case where we said, ask the students of our universities, Usmania University, which is one of the premier university in Telangana, to identify highly polluted areas within the state districts of, and come out with a suitable solution to reduce that pollution. So this will kind of, excite them, because they're solving real world problems, which, because compared to what you just give some problem statement and ask them to do, then not really excite them. So this is a similar case even to workforce also. These are the kind of hackathons that we need to come, organize again, awareness workshops, capacity building exercises. All these will really help, and in addressing the challenges where right now the current workforce is not actually sort of inclined to move towards these kind of solutions. But at the end of the day, when there is demand, especially if you look at the workforce, if there is a demand in the market, automatically, the tools come out, the curriculums or the training programs will emerge from all corners of the country, and that would in turn, the work help the workforce to actually learn and upskill their you know capacities. Yeah.
So thank you so much. I think hackathons is something which is very important. Instead of just giving them something, some task to identify themselves and do something, makes a lot of difference. And as you also talked about the initial bit, which Manav has also talked about, research is very important, because that is where we are lacking, and that's something that needs to be considered at every step. As you said, the number of research papers, citations are also very important in identifying how much has gone into a particular subject. So research and entrepreneurship is important, and then giving them such such opportunities where they themselves identify and then they work on it is also very, very important in this regard. And I think we must take account of all these factors. Now my question is for Dr. Baveja. As an educator, what are the key barriers to integrating AI and sustainability education in schools, and how can we address these challenges? Is what I would like
Thank you.
to.
Thank you, Pritika, for that question. I think the
Yeah.
first and foremost thing in schools, what we should have is, and we are lacking, is awareness. So, as rightly said, that until unless there is awareness, until unless we talk about sustainability, how do we make our children think? How do we have them love for it and inculcate this as a habit? So, when we talk about awareness, I think I already shared we should integrate it in the curriculum. The second thing is, see, resources. Sometimes, not every school, like we are blessed, we are a 20-acre school. We can try all these, activities where we have infrastructure and we can utilize the best of spaces. But sometimes, in most of the schools in India, they may lack resources. So the solution to this is that we should look at, one, yes, we should give a lot of challenges to our children, but two, we should look at industry partnerships. A lot of corporates are doing CSR activities. You won't believe, this is not part of sustainability, but with BMW in my, we tied up and we have the road safety, program in the school. So we can talk to a lot of schools where they, a lot of corporates where they do CSR activities, and we, literally encourage them and do it in our school for our children. The third is that when we talk about all this, where is the acceptance amongst educators? Because as I said, there's a huge pressure of academics, then course scholastics, we have to do the syllabus. So we as educators, as heads, we have to understand that we have to bring in the acceptance of having these activities. So I'll give you an example. Like in my school, we had Science Fest, STEM Fest. So what we did this time, we took this as a theme, sustainability. And now I am thinking to even add AI to it. So AI and sustainability together, because I really love this topic. So what we are going to do, we have given all the subjects, whether it's science, whether it's maths, Whether robotics, we have given two topics per class where children will be given challenges and they will be like innovators presenting their projects. So now what we think is, why not do it in the school, because this is what is a solution to the time management wherein we are facing problems. Very important thing is internships, which is already shared by Ms. Rama, because internships is something wherein these challenges will be met. These children will be exposed to these activities. And at last but not the least, I would again like to tell to all the educators, yes, by the time children go to universities, they choose their professions. But when they are in schools, we have to imbibe the love for the environment, the responsibility towards the environment. And we have to create logical thinkers, critical thinkers, who are entrepreneurs, who are innovators, because that is where our country will progress and will take another level. So with that, I would like to just add a quote of Nelson Mandela, which says, education is the most powerful weapon by which we can change the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Baveja. As rightly said, education is the most powerful weapon. And you've talked about so many things. You talk about the fact that every school may not have the infrastructure, and that's where CSR initiatives they play a major role. And where we can, with the help of corporates, each and every school can utilize this opportunity and do a lot in this regard, because all of us realize what is the importance of AI. And then the challenges that you give them, the different projects, two projects that two subjects they can take and do something, is another thing where they can choose something that they want to do, and see it practically happening along with the internships, which has already been mentioned. I think these are some things which we must consider, so that we really can work at sustainability issues. So now my question is for Manav again. AI is often seen as a double-edged sword. While it has the potential to solve many problems, it also raises concern about job displacement. We've talked about this earlier also. How can we ensure that AI contributes positively to both job creation and sustainability? So you've talked about it earlier, but if you could highlight it, Mana. Yeah.
So first, there's a lot of negativity around AI right now because deep fakes, because how AI is being used, and firstly, before I say anything, I think we need to make sure that, like Dr. Alpna was saying, I think we need first to make sure our teams are safe. So we need to, as we skill them, especially the minors, we need to make sure there's digital safety workshops that we conduct. And in fact, we have been doing that in partnership with various organizations and CBSE. But we need to first make sure we are teaching the good use of technology. We are creating digital citizens. We need to make sure that the way we would go out and conduct ourselves, courtesies, wishing good mornings and good afternoon and thank yous, we need to first teach our children how to conduct themselves safely online and have a citizenship mindset, the digital citizenship or digital nagrikta, as we call it, right? That's most important. So, firstly, we need to be safe and we need good use of AI, good use of technology so that it benefits everybody. And because there's a lot of negativity around digital technology, specifically AI. Now, one of the bad news about AI is that it's going to take away jobs, which is real. But we have gone through this earlier. In the 1990s, when Excel sheets came, into existence, there were a lot of accountants who thought that they would lose jobs. They because we used to have a register and all the accounting used to be happening in that format, and then came Excel sheets, and you required a different skill set. Some accountants up leveled, upskilled, and leverage it and utilize that, and many people just fell off. And that is what is going to happen on AI. Change is the only constant. We need to make sure we are upskilling ourselves. Learning, relearning, unlearning, as we have always seen, is so important. And I think that's the mindset we need to have if we want to take the jobs of the future, because the world is changing more faster than what we think right now. For so AI is going to take up jobs, of course, but like Excel, AI is also going to create more jobs than what it's going to displace. So I think we need to be ready for the new jobs that are coming up, specifically in the energy segment, electric white EV segment, renewable segment. I mean, there's so many jobs coming up. So I think we need to focus more on how can we upskill ourselves, reskill ourselves to be relevant. I mean, I always say that, if you want to go fast, take the short term approach. I mean, see whatever I can do to get a job, that's fine, you go fast. But if you want to go far, if you want to plan a career 20 years, 30 years, do something that will be relevant for you, where you can provide to the world some skills that would be needed and you won't be obsolete. And AI is in that category. AI in green skills is in that category. And I think if the students who are listening and educators who are listening, if we need to prepare our young workforce for a career 20, 30 years, AI and green skills, you can't go wrong with it. And that's the real thing that I would leave right now, that AI can be used as a force for good. And I think that's the big opportunity. It's a double-edged sword, no doubt. Let's take care of it. Let's keep our young people safe online. Let's do whatever to make sure they're ethical. There's good use of AI. Ethics become a big part of it. Data privacy becomes a big part of it. We need to take care of all that. I'm not saying that, but we need to leverage the force for good, so that we can leapfrog and go good and achieve some of these goals like climate action much faster. And I think there's an economic and environmental opportunity both that could be leveraged using that approach.
So thank you so much, Manav. As you said, we must focus on the positives. Yes, it's a double-edged sword. It's going to impact jobs to a significant extent, but there are going to be more jobs as well. And if you think of long term, it's very important that we, unlearn and relearn and kind of equip ourselves with the skills that are required. And that's what is the need of the hour. So to conclude this entire discussion, I think AI is all set, we all know, to revolutionize the economies as one of the key technology in today's time. And this discussion clearly highlights the support that we require from governments, businesses, and academic institutions. So AI will help scale the overall ecosystem, leading to a transformation of the workforce. It's just that we need to be more vigilant. We need to take care of certain digital things which are very important. Make good use of AI, and what was also called about digital citizenship or nagrikta. All these things have to be taken into account. And the fact that yes, jobs will be taken away, but there will be many more. And we need to upskill ourselves constantly if we want to be a part of this. And there is sky is the limit. There's no limit to the opportunities. It is just that we need to harness our skills, and the academic institutions, private and public partnerships will go a long way to to give a way further in this regard, and it's going to impact us positively. So focusing on the positive, I think AI is all set to revolutionize everything. And each and every problem under the sun can be tackled if we learn to use AI effectively, and our future generation will be equipped with the necessary skills. As we have seen in this discussion today, there is a lot of scope for them, considering the fact there are institutions, there are schools, education institutions, there are organizations like 1M, 1B, and so on, all getting together to empower them. Thank you so much for this discussion today. And I'm sure we've all come to know so much about this topic. Thank you so much. Thanks to all the panelists for joining in and making it a very fruitful discussion. And it leaves us with a lot of food for thought. Thank you.